Ever since he landed on the scene 20 years ago with his highly acclaimed film She's Gotta Have It, Spike Lee has become one of Hollywood's most provocative film directors. He has raised debate with his feature films and his documentaries. The latest, When the Levees Broke, looked at the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. Spike Lee joins us in the studio. Welcome, man. Good to see you.
It's honored.
And, let me ask you this, Spike. You and I talked about When the Levees Broke when HBO was premiering it.
Mm-hmm.
After the fact, were you surprised at all of the talk and debate that it generated?
Well, I didn't hear too much of the debate. I was really surprised by the overwhelming, people loved it. I was telling Tanya this the other day, like, this is my 20th years doing this, and if I combine what people told me about Do the Right Thing, no, She's Gonna Have It, Star Wars, She's Gonna Have It, Do the Right Thing, Malcolm X, even the latest joint, Inside Man, those films combined cannot compare to the love I've gotten just from people on the street all over the world. Not just here in the States, not just here in New York, when the levees broke.
It was astonishing, and that's why I raised that question, because I would suspect it would have taken you by surprise, because after the first night, everywhere I went, and I'm not just talking about radio or television, just office buildings, on the street corner, eating a hot dog, whatever you have, people were talking about it. And it was interesting because it wasn't as though they hadn't seen it on the news, they hadn't talked about it. It was almost a cathartic moment that was needed.
That's true, but people have seen stuff on the news, but not presented the way we did it. So we saw Ms. Ethel Freeman, in the elderly African-American woman, in the chair, but there was no story.
Mm-hmm.
It's an image. When I saw that picture, my grandmother's 100 years old and is still alive today in Atlanta, Georgia. So when I saw Ms. Ethel Freeman slumped over dead in that wheelchair, I saw my grandmother. And I said, I want to get the story. And all I had was a picture. So we found her son, Herbert Freeman, got the story.
Spike, it's interesting because we're going to have a discussion in a few moments about images and control or lack thereof for African Americans in the media. You're one who really has been able to forge control of what you do. How difficult has that been?
Well, it's very difficult, but I mean, a lot of these white folks are crazy. This TV reviewer for the Times-Picayune, his review of When the Levees Broke said it only presents 62% of the population. Let's go to your history and look at every single review you've written, and let me see one time where you wrote, there's no black people in this show. So, come on. It's rigged. And the couple times we get a chance to tell a story, then they want to say something.
How heartfelt has it been for you to know that some of what you have been able to put out there through When the Levees Broke has moved people either to not forget that New Orleans still needs a lot of help, or maybe even put more pressure on federal, state, local government officials to do the right thing right now?
Well, I think that we made an impact. I don't know for sure if the people at the White House have seen it, but they know about it. I definitely know Condoleezza Rice knows about it. Because somebody went back to her and told her. So, it's impact. And what's great is that many of the people in the documentary I've become friends with, and we're in touch.
How much of the idea of being a role model, a mentor to young people coming up who want to get in this business, do you believe you can be, or as we were talking off camera, this is such a ridiculously hard business to try to forge your way in. What do you tell young people who look for it, young blacks in particular?
Well, I'm a professor. I'm an educator. For the last 9 years, I've been professor at NYU Graduate Film School, where I got my Master of Fine Arts there. The last 3 years, I've been artistic director at the film school. So my parents and grandparents were teachers. So I've always been about education. So I just try to tell people, get the education, and then you gotta have to get up and go. this stuff where you're just gonna hope that it's gonna fall on your lap.
You see that with a lot of young people today, don't you?
I think these reality shows have gone a great disservice to American youth, because they look at these reality shows and they see them in those positions, think they could just stand on the corner of 42nd Street, with Times Square, and someone's going to pick them, the hand of God's going to come down, boom, and you're on your way. It doesn't work like that. Not at all.
What's coming up for you? I know that NBC is looking at a pilot of yours.
Well, it's called NOLA, and it takes place in post-Katrina, post-levee broke New Orleans today, and just various people from different backgrounds trying to put their lives back together. Right now we're working on we're rushing to finish the DVD of when the levees broke. The demand has been enormous. Phones ringing off the hook. Everybody wants a copy of it.
Feature film.
Right.
What's upcoming, and what would you most like to do? I know that there were a number of stories that you wanted to bring to the big screen.
Still want to do the Joe Louis.
I know you wanted to do that Joe Louis.
Joe Louis.
And it won't. And I suspect, knowing you a little bit, it won't matter how long it takes. You're going to get it to that big screen.
Yeah, I mean, before I came on the project, it took 20 years to get Malcolm X made. You know, so just hang in there.
Hang in there. We'll look forward to it as you build to your body of work, which, as I said, is tremendous, and always good to talk to you, Spike. And congratulations on that, man. We all of us watched when the levees broke with tears and pride, knowing that you put it together, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay.
All right.